Barry Quape. Thank you for coming in. Today, we're going to be watching the absolute insanity of online virtual court. I don't know, hit the button, subscribe, whatever people say. Thank you!
So, Judge, what are your thoughts on this Zoom video court?
Oh, I think it's completely ridiculous.
Oh, he from Texas for real. Oh, me too, brother.
And it's making a mockery out of the court system. I got folks calling in here drinking, smoking, carrying on and acting a fool in ways I've never seen in my 30-year career as a judge. And my court's getting worse every day because of these knuckleheads.
Yeah, just
Today we'll be exploring the insanity that is Zoom court.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I love the cat video. I hope you guys get to see the whole thing.
Hi, wavywebsurf, your favorite fake online paralegal, there are many of us out there, will be taking you on a tour through some of the most hilariously unhinged Zoom court cases.
Yes.
It's $200 an hour, by the way.
The amount of disrespect that I've encountered since this Zoom court stuff, it really just blows my mind.
Stop
Kobe
disrespecting
Harris,
my judge.
the driver's license dimwit.
Oh, we were just talking about this on the other video.
I'd like to introduce you to the most perpetually confused man.
We were just talking about this on the other react that we did. If I remember, I'll put it up in the card. But I was just telling you, I think he basically got caught. He needed like a suspended license or something, and then he still calls in to the court driving.
Man in American history. A Michigan native whose driver's license status is truly one of the great mysteries of the universe. Active, suspended, or revoked?
Nobody
Not even
knows.
he really knows.
Schrodinger's
This dumbfounded driver parked into a lot of public controversy after a viral Zoom clip showcased him attending a virtual court hearing for driving without a license from the driver's seat of a moving vehicle.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
This stun-locked chauffeur here became something of a meme due to his slack-jawed expression and the sheer brazen stupidity of what he did.
If you're the defense lawyer, do you just leave? Yeah, I know I lost. FF at 20. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day.
But did he actually do anything wrong at all? See, in the aftermath of this clip, Budget Ben CeeLo Green here would claim the entire ordeal was just a big misunderstanding.
What?
And when the truth came out, we would be the ones looking like we just shit ourselves in traffic.
Passenger?
I've been assaulted.
What?
I've been followed.
What?
I've been laughed at. I've been ridiculed. I have been disrespected.
So what is the real story here? Well, let's back things up and start from the beginning.
You're good. You're good.
In October of 2023, 44-year-old Michigan man Corey Harris was given a citation by a police officer in Washtenaw County after he was pulled over for having an expired license plate on the vehicle he was driving. Upon further inspection, the man was also found to have been driving without a valid license. Corey was expected to appear in front of court at a later date, and all things considered, it was said to have been a cordial, routine traffic stop.
Wait, so if you do Zoom court, are the jurors also on their computer? I mean, I could probably do that, especially if it's like some drama. I probably just want to be a little bit nosy and be listening.
And after this run-in with the law, Corey Harris learned his lesson and never got behind the wheel of a vehicle without a license again.
Yes, I am.
No, that's not what happens at all. In fact, given what transpires next, it's very likely that Corey Harris started driving even more after getting pulled over.
What?
Several months later, on May 15th of 2024, Corey Harris would attend his scheduled court hearing over virtual Zoom court. His hearing being presided over by Judge Cedric Simpson, a judge that has become somewhat famous here on YouTube, as his court actively live streams its hearings.
Whoa! He be making them Twitch primes at his job? Pretty smart, pretty smart.
You don't want to go down?
He should have like, Ace Attorney style emotes so everybody in chat can spam guilty, 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 guilty.
And see Mr. Fink? You don't want to do that? You want to try to overtalk me? You just come down here and you're going to have to show it.
Many viral Zoom court defendant disaster clips are made here live,
Oh,
and
this is
Corey Harris
awesome.
was about to become Judge Simpson's premier court jester.
Ooh.
The hearing starts off routinely, with Simpson announcing the case and prosecuting and defending attorneys identifying themselves.
Oh, hi.
But the moment Corey's Zoom feed loads into frame, any chance of this being a routine suspended license hearing went right out of the
Goofball.
driver's side window. Corey answered the call for his suspended license hearing while he was fucking driving.
Mr. Harris, are you
He got a little salty as the narrator, just dropping the F-bomb there.
driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually.
He's not driving, he's parking. It's okay.
Just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Wait.
Well, at least he was being safe and told him to wait a
stationary?
second.
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
He's
Bro says this in
laughing.
such a shit-eating way, like the judge is about to compliment him on his dedication to driver safety.
Yes, I am.
All right.
I'm pulling.
If he didn't say all that, he could have at least had the excuse of maybe I'm the passenger. But also, if I had a court date, I'm not sure I'd be driving anywhere or having overlapping, like, appointments. I'd be at home.
Into my doctor's office, actually.
Finding a healthcare provider is a stressful process. I think we can all relate to a time where
Oh,
we
look,
had
he
to
got
go
a
in
costume for
blind
the
to a
ad.
doctor that we found on a last-minute Google search. It's no fun, and today's sponsor, ZocDoc, can help.
ZocDoc.
Oh yeah, I'm playing a lot of characters today, guys. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality providers, helping you weed through the uncertainty and make a more informed decision regarding your provider. And
Okay.
even better, with ZocDoc, you can skip the secretaries and long phone calls and book
Yeah,
an
but
appointment
can I
right
also
there
get
on
a
the
doctor to
site.
play League of Legends
Useful
with me?
filters allow you to see if providers accept your insurance, and you can also filter by distance and by providers who have been rated by verified patients. On ZocDoc, you can see a provider's full listing and full schedule of available dates, and you can just click one of them that works for you, making the whole process
Yeah, I need
a
a
rather
gaming
leisurely
doctor.
one.
We should
A
make
lot of the times you can get appointments.
We should make a gaming doctor website where we just get professionals to teach people how to play games. And then also they're all really hot VTuber girls wearing like nurse VTuber outfits, and it would be the gaming doctors. That would be awesome.
Appointments from 24 to 72 hours out from when you book it, and they even have day of appointments in some cases available. It's really
Gaming
the best way to
doctor,
see
you
a
say.
provider
Oh,
on
no,
a
no,
whim.
not the Champions
ZocDoc
Club.
has 100,000 providers in its network, and they cover just about every specialty.
would teach the
dental,
VTubers?
eye, you name it. Which I think is great, as a lot of times people just have one-off
I'm an
issues
ultimate
that they
gamer,
want to see a
man.
specialist
How
for, but
dare
don't want
you.
to have to hassle with getting a primary doctor. ZocDoc makes it easy to get an appointment with these specialists. So stop putting those appointments off. You can go to
Okay.
ZocDoc.com/wavywebsurf to find a top-rated provider and book your appointment today. Big thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring. Now let's get back to Mr. Harris being caught driving with a suspended license by the
Yeah, I
court.
want to know what
Everyone
happened.
in the courtroom is in total shock, with Corey seeming completely oblivious as to why. I gotta give it to Judge
Goofball.
Simpson here, because I don't think I could contain myself. I'd be
I'd
laughing,
be
my
laughing
ass
too.
off at this buffoon, but he manages to keep it together.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
And it's at this moment
His face! How did he forget he wasn't supposed to be driving?
that the once relatively chatty Mr. Harris
Yeah.
completely loses his grasp on the English language.
Oh,
This is horrible.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended, and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
hello?
1 minute, Mr. Harris.
Those of you in the medical crowd watching might just assume
Hello?
Corey Harris suffered an ischemic stroke, but rest assured this is simply the face of a stupid person slowly realizing they fucked up.
How do you get out of this? I don't know what you can say to get out of this. I guess I would say, Sorry.
As a result of his actions here, the moronic
No. I was playing, guys. You don't understand. I was playing GTA. I had to park my car in the game. Okay. It was all in a video game. You just didn't have the context.
motorist was ordered by Judge Simpson to turn himself in by the end of the day, or a warrant would be issued for his arrest.
Defendant's
Jeez.
bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
How did this happen to me?
This is a face of pure regret.
Yeah, he's gonna drive to the jail, by the way.
Though it took about 2 minutes and 7 seconds, the neurons in Mr. Harris's brain had finally pieced together what had happened and why the man on his phone screen was mad at him. He had been caught driving by the judge.
Oh my god.
It's clips and screenshots like this that would soon go viral across the internet. Man with suspended license appears in virtual court while driving. It was the funny headline at the time. For about a week or so, you couldn't escape this guy's slack-jawed face and people commenting about the sheer idiocy of his actions in post-feature.
Do lawyers have like win-loss ratios? Like, that is basically just your team feeding. You just get the loss. That sucks. He gets a point taken off his win-loss record.
As the internet was laughing at him, Corey Harris would turn himself into police. The man would spend 2 days in jail relating to the ordeal,
His
and
KD
most
is not
thought
looking
this
good.
to be the end of the matter entirely. But oh no, our journey with Mr. Harris is about to take an absurd detour, an unsignaled left turn, if you will. Sometime after Corey Harris got out of
my
jail, he
God.
would claim this entire situation was actually the government's fault.
What?
And he was being framed for a crime that he never committed. But like, how? We literally saw
It was AI, man. That was not me driving that car. This is edited.
him in 4K shitting himself in front of the judge while driving that car, right? Well, Harris would later protest that the license suspension in question had actually been reversed back in 2022. And due to a clerical error, it was never updated in the system.
He thought the suspension that was tied to unpaid child support had been lifted 2 years ago. What was your reaction?
Wait, if you don't pay child support, they can take your license? I actually didn't know what they did if people just said, I ain't paying that.
I told you, so you have a suspended license.
I thought they just, what's the word? Took money from your paycheck. I thought they took money off your paycheck.
I looked at him like, you gotta be joking, because all of this was supposed to have been taken care of already.
Court records show a judge ordered that suspension lifted in January 2022, but a spokesperson for the Secretary of State said they never received a clearance from the friend of the court.
Yeah, according to Harris, we were the idiots in this situation, and he was a legal genius prepared to take this matter to the Supreme Traffic Court.
Yeah!
The lumpy litigant protested further, claiming the state never notified him that he was compelled to pay a license clearance fee in order for the reversal of his license suspension to be completed.
Because Harris did not pay the license clearance fee to their clerk's office.
Never told me.
Wait, but there's no way he wouldn't know that you had to pay a license fee, right? Like, they probably emailed the crap out of you.
A thing. That's all they said was that they would be sending me some paperwork in the mail, and here it is, 2024.
Yeah, and then if that's the truth, then why did he think he had to go to court? For fun?
And I just received the paperwork that they were supposed to send me 2 years ago.
Friend of the court.
Right.
They never said you had to pay a fee or anything.
No.
So yeah, if what Corey has to say here is indeed true, it did appear as if the state dropped the ball. And many online would actually rally to the man's defense, now saying that he was actually the victim in this situation.
Well, now it turns out there's more to the story. It turns out that a judge actually ordered that the suspension of his license be lifted way back in January of 2022. Then for some reason, the Michigan Secretary of State's office just never received the news that the suspension was lifted. So according to Harris, he believed that he had every right to be behind the wheel, telling WXYZ.
They were supposed to have been lifted it two years ago, but they didn't. It's very embarrassing. And with the type of ties that I have with the church and the community, it's very embarrassing.
Right, but still,
he probably made that statement driving his car.
because he got caught in that Zoom, he ended up spending 2 nights in jail. And not only that, Harris claimed that the reason—
But then, wouldn't if he had a chance in court to say something about that? Like, couldn't he have been like, hey, like, I don't get it. Like, yeah, I'm driving because it got lifted. But whenever the court guy said, oh, you're driving your car, you're not supposed to do that, he didn't defend himself. He just said, oh my God.
and that he was driving, he wasn't just doing it for no reason. He said he was actually driving his wife to the doctor because her medical condition was worsening.
In addition to being embarrassed and relentlessly mocked online, Harris also claimed the arrest resulting from this apparent clerical mix-up had caused him to be stalked and assaulted.
It has literally been pure OD hell. I've been assaulted, I've been followed, I've been laughed at, I've been ridiculed, I have been disrespected.
You know what, Corey? I think we were wrong about you, bud. You didn't deserve the government screwing you out of your license. After all, that judge unsuspended it back in 2022. You shouldn't have been arrested on Zoom for driving in the first place. This whole thing was just unfair. All the jokes that I've made about you in this video, I take them all back. I apologize. At least that's what I would say if Corey Harris wasn't a big fat liar.
Tell me the tea. Tell me the tea.
And so I am going to make sure that the record is very, very clear as to what this court knows and what this court acted on May 15th.
On June 5th, 2024, Harris would attend a scheduled court hearing related to the matter of his infamous Zoom arrest. Many were expecting the judge to issue some sort of apology on behalf of the state, or to exonerate Corey Harris of any driving-related infractions. However, what actually happened was Judge Simpson, in surgically precise fashion, exposing Mr. Corey Harris as a complete fraud, debunking his bogus story, and revealing to the public an unbelievable piece of information. Corey Harris never had his license suspended. In fact, Corey Harris never had received a driver's license in his entire life. And the prior suspension actually regarded his right to acquire a license in the first place.
He has never had a Michigan license.
Oh.
And has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. He has never had a license. In point of fact.
So he was playing Among Us online.
When they suspended his license in Saginaw, they don't suspend the license. They suspend the privilege to drive in this state.
Simpson continues by explaining that if Harris wanted to ever get his ability to receive his first driver's license, all he would have to do is to pay a fee and take the test.
Or defense attorney,
but either
it's
out
over,
of
man.
sheer laziness, idiocy, or contempt, he had still yet to do so.
Were unsuspended in 2022.
Why lie? They'll find out. Like, that's their job.
Harris to do something. He didn't do it. Therefore, that friend of the court was under no obligation to send anything to the Secretary of State.
Oh.
Now, I hated that I had to look at all of this, but when there's a question as to what I did, I'm going to look at everything to make sure that what I did was all in order.
In addition to this, the judge would address an excuse issued by Corey, where he stated he was unable to physically go to the Secretary of State's office to get a driver's license because he was bedridden for a time. Simpson points out during the time that Harris claimed he was bedridden, he actually went to that very office to renew his normal state ID.
Mr. Harris indicated that at some point he had been involved in some accident.
Oh.
Then being involved into the accident that he was basically bedridden or at least housebound, he could not get to the Secretary of State. That's not true.
Okay. Damn. And the judge is like pretty Giga Chad. He's just kind of like laying it out, not being excessive with it, just saying what he's got to say, and he's making a huge point. At this point, if the judge is cooking me, I know I'm going to jail. It is not looking good. There is no hope.
He purposely stated that he could not get to the Secretary of State.
Oh.
Which, for the way we handle things in this court, would have placed him in a whole different category. We would have tried to find a way. Let's figure it out. And the reason I know that is because Mr. Harris, on December 28th of 2023,
Floor drop.
you know where you were?
Where?
December 28th, 23.
23rd.
2023.
I know I was late.
It's just like when someone asks you a question, already knows the answer, and sees if you're gonna lie. Do you think he's gonna tell the truth? Come on, man. Come on, you can do it.
Was laid up from our accident.
You were at the Secretary of State's office. And you were at the Secretary of State's office because you redid
Oh, I thought this was...
and got your new Michigan ID.
Oh.
I have the date.
Damn.
That's the date you did it.
The judge also elaborates that this piece of information is how he figured out Corey didn't have a license to begin with.
Wow.
The way I know that he's never had a license is because May 3rd, 1990, he was 19 at the time. May 3rd, 1999, he applied for his first Michigan ID.
He is cooking him.
Council knows, so I do. You cannot have both. You either have an ID or you have a license. One of the two.
I wouldn't even let him play Mario Kart at this point. I can't tell when he's telling the truth and when he's lying.
He has religiously every year gotten a new ID.
Wow.
And so he knows that he doesn't have a license.
So if you don't have a license, can you fly? Can you go to plane?
And quite frankly, I just wish he would have said that at the beginning.
Yes, just be honest.
And all of this hoopla could have been just put
No,
all aside. And we all go through the process as we do with all of the people coming here to try to get him his license back.
I just never understand the point of lying, especially when you know they're going to fact check you. You have to be honest.
But his falsehoods,
yeah, he doesn't even have insurance,
are not going to fare him well in this court.
Ugh.
I'm done. For now.
Standing almost as dumbfounded as he sat
Wow.
during the infamous Zoom call, Harris was shown no mercy, as his lies were completely exposed and his excuses
What do you
diligently
say?
debunked.
There's nothing.
The defeated dope would slink and assume a sullen demeanor for the remainder of this reality check of the
you
hearing.
can't say nothing.
Those watching the live stream noticed something.
No fucking way. His shirt says "Trust me," and then the back is a cross. Come on, who is your stylist?
About Corey as he was pouting. This fucking guy had the audacity to wear a t-shirt to court. But not only that, the shirt had the words "Trust me" on the front and had the image of a hand with its fingers crossed on the back of it. Either this guy is actually clinically delayed or is one of the greatest deep cover trolls in history. Like, you cannot make this shit up. Simpson wasn't the only one in the courtroom that had smoke for Mr. Harris, as the prosecutors got a chance to chime in as well, discussing with the court the matter of police body cam footage in which Harris is allegedly heard admitting to the officer that he did not have a valid driver's license, admitting this multiple times. This essentially eviscerating Corey's narrative where he says he was under the impression that he had a valid license the entire time.
When I was at the police department yesterday, we watched the body cam video. At least twice during this traffic stop, he acknowledged to the officer that he did not have a valid license. Quote, actually,
No way!
And with that,
Actually, I don't have a valid driver's. Bro, come on!
Corey Harris, once believed to be the most confused man in American history, was now proven to be nothing more than a bumbling liar with a penchant for looking stupid no matter the venue.
What a goofball.
While driving on Zoom, lying to the public on television, throwing a pity party, and even while physically in court, this man...
Your Honor, I was calling from my race car bed, which I do have a license for.
And somehow finds a way to make a laughingstock out of himself. After the hearing, Harris was ordered back into custody due to a standing bench warrant associated with another unrelated case for driving with a suspended license, which I will not be covering today.
Wow.
He would be bailed out shortly after by his wife. And with that, the saga that
ride
began
or
with
die.
Corey's infamous Zoom court appearance finally had some
She is a ride or die, but really she should be the drive or die because he should not be behind a wheel.
closure. There is something of a positive ending to this story, as it does appear that Corey just may have learned his lesson. Harris's attorney, Dion Webster Cox, would later give an update on her client.
She is a
stating
professional
that Corey was
passenger
taking proper
princess.
steps in getting a driver's learning permit, and that her office was helping him do so. On June 7th, 2024, Corey Harris would celebrate publicly, revealing that he had finally gotten his learner's permit. And about a month later after that, on July 8th, 2024, Corey Harris, for the first time in his life, would receive a driver's license.
That is the perfect response. I don't know. This is a dub. This is actually a dub.
Finally, on August 7th, 2024, Harris appeared in court once again, but now that he had secured a driver's license, his charge would be downgraded from a misdemeanor, and the fines and costs associated with the charges were waived. In all seriousness, though, congratulations to Corey Harris. It took you a while, but you are now a functioning adult.
Good job.
I'll see you on the road, big guy.
I'm kind of happy for him. I feel like he turned it around. I don't know why. I mean, obviously he was lying and stuff, but just seeing him dance with his learner's permit, that was a good ending.
With this virtual Zoom stuff, people just letting caution to the wind. Like there's no decorum at all in the courtroom anymore. I've seen some absurd things over the last couple of years.
Hello, Your Honor.
Did you forget to flush the toilet again?
Fucking shut up! Get off my back, bitch.
Now this is a
Jeez!
serious... Boy,
that's
if you don't
me.
stop slurping that drink, this ain't your mama's house.
Excuse me, Mr. Judge, sir. You can order
likes
my
bananas.
balls in your mouth. You're gonna be held in
Whoa.
contempt of my dick.
Don't make me climb you out.
This is out of control. He's threatening the court.
Your Honor, with respect,
Whoa!
if pleasuring a man under a bridge is a crime, then
What
I'm
bridge?
guilty, okay? We used to live in a free society.
To me, it's just ridiculous.
Next is the case of Nathaniel
Oh,
Saxon.
I don't know about this guy.
Next,
It's
we have a
interesting.
rather humorous blunder brought to court thanks to a defendant who logged into his hearing utilizing an extremely vulgar username one might find on a GameFAQs forum.
Oh my god, he's probably yapping under his Marvel Rivals name. This is gonna be nuts.
Forum in 2005.
It's gonna be like
This
Sue
is the
Storm's...
legend of Buttfucker 3000.
I was close enough. That's actually like the same thing.
Your name's not Buttfucker 3000.
Meet 37-year-old meth head and apparent anal sex expert Nathaniel Saxton.
Oh my
Hailing
God.
from Three Rivers, Michigan, Saxton has a history of vagrancy and drug charges dating back to 2007. And in the 2010s, the guy had a couple of run-ins with the law.
Of course
once
he
for
did.
operating and maintaining a meth lab, and another time for possession of drug paraphernalia. What brings us to the butt fucking, though, is that in the spring of 2021, Nathaniel Saxton was caught once again for drug paraphernalia after police had allegedly found a syringe possessing methamphetamine
And anal
in his
beads.
truck during a routine traffic stop. Because of this methed up run-in with the cops, Nathaniel was
Methed
compelled
up.
to appear in front of a court at a later date. And with COVID going on, this hearing was going to be virtual. The hearing would be presided over by St. Joseph County, Michigan judge Jeffrey Middleton, who, like Judge Simpson mentioned earlier, is famous here on YouTube as his court often live streams its hearings.
Wow, everybody be
Middleton is
streaming.
honestly a legend. Like nobody has more classic moments than him.
Is someone kayaking during a hearing?
How do people have no respect for their appearance in court? Why are we showing up with shirts that say I'm a liar? Why are we kayaking? Why are we driving? At this point, I might as well be playing on the Xbox. Everybody else is doing it. Who cares?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I'm glad this was really important to you.
Anyhow, on May 11th, 2021, the hearing would begin. Everything starting off pretty normal, with defendants filing into the Zoom call, each waiting for their turn with the judge.
Who has the fire alarm? I don't know if I could be a professional judge, man. I would just be laughing at everything. This is so, like, goofy. All of this is so silly.
While the smoke detector chirp going off is admittedly pretty funny, what happens next is so ridiculously absurd that it could be mistaken for like a pre-planned comedy sketch. While generally displaying very little emotion, Middleton is the kind of judge that gets extremely disgruntled when people disrespect court decorum.
Well, I mean, yeah, like his job is to judge people, right? And how do you judge somebody fairly when you already know that they're a certified goofball?
And you can kind of tell that he wasn't a fan of Zoom court as a whole.
Yeah.
With defendants frequently calling in from home looking slovenly and disheveled.
Yes!
I'm sure he had some remarks about the defendants shown on screen that he kept to himself. But when Nathaniel Saxton joined the virtual hearing, Middleton could no longer contain himself.
Then we'll bring this fool in.
He hasn't even been pulled in yet. They already know he's an anal advocate.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes.
Nathaniel Saxton, sir.
No, it's Mr. Buttfucker to you.
Your name's not Buttfucker 3000, you yo-ho.
What was that? That was like an old person pirate insult. Yarhar fiddly dee.
Logging into my court with that as your screen name.
The entire call is in complete shock, including Nathaniel himself, who scrambles to come up with an explanation for his buttfuckery.
What kind of idiot logs into court like that?
His face.
What's your name again?
Nathaniel Saxton, sir, but I don't believe that I typed anything like that.
It was Clara. It was Clara.
That's what it says.
Why, I apologize. That should not be.
Yeah, you should. I'll put you in the waiting room. You can sit in limbo for a while and think about what you call yourself online.
Oh my god, he's gonna make him like face the wall and count all the way up to like 9 million. He's grounded. He's grounded. Aw, poor little guy.
Joseph Christ, I'm right there with you, buddy. I mean, it's hard not to laugh at something like this. I mean, how the fuck do you accidentally log into an official court portal with a username only fit for an edgy Discord group and not even realize it? Well, Nathaniel would be allowed back in to explain himself, and according to him, his sister was to blame.
What? Ew, what in the Alabama's going on here? How do you know that about your sister? She calling you dad. What the hell? What the helly? What the helly?
Your Honor.
Yes.
If I may explain, my sister was one that set up my Zoom account or whatever. That butt effer is
butt effer. I don't know. Maybe his sister's like a VR chat role player or something. That's how she's making her money.
my iPhone pairing name for my Bluetooth speaker, sir. It's an inside joke.
Inside joke. Yeah, this is like way too inside for me. That's like up the year inside.
It's not what you think. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
Aww.
Yep, you heard that right. The classic sister setting up your Zoom account under the username buttfucker3000 because it's the name of our Bluetooth speaker prank. We've all fallen for this one. I'm sure if
I do think the judge has him pegged. Good point.
Middleton kept letting this guy talk, he'd reveal to the judge that their Wi-Fi name was PussyLicker69.
Come on, why
This family is full of jokesters, you know. 20 minutes later, the humiliated Saxton pled guilty to possession of drug paraphernalia and agreed to pay a $200 fine.
This is
Judge
so
Middleton
messed up.
added that Buttfucker 3000 was fortunate to have finished the hearing without a contempt of court charge. Our booty-blasting friend here and his embarrassing Zoom court mishap would go on to become a viral classic that is gonna haunt this guy for the rest of his days. Something else that continues to haunt our cheek-busting connoisseur here is his penchant for drugs. In February of 2022, Saxton was once again arrested in St. Joseph County, Michigan for drug-related crimes. Saxton later pled guilty to 3 charges, 2 charges for possession of meth and 1 for possession of cocaine. The result of all of this was Buttfucker 3000 being sentenced to 2 years of probation.
He is like butt-fucking his health for real.
Which is slated to end July 10th of 2025, according to court documents.
Is that next month? Oh my God, he's almost free.
Let's hope for Nathaniel's sake, his sister doesn't have any more diabolical Bluetooth speaker pranks waiting in the wings, because prison is not the place you want to be with a nickname like that.
Shut the hell up. What if it's his legal name, man?
Hey, you'll need to attend 1 meeting on top of your current drug and alcohol recovery program to comply with the requirements of the agreement. And furthermore,
What is a drink?
sir, I can see you drinking the beer.
Oh, it's a
I think
beer?
the worst part about the Zoom court is when people at home, they feel more comfortable and they don't respect the judge. They don't respect my authority. When I have them in front of me, it's like I'm their daddy, scolding them over some skid marks in their underwear or something like that. And the court has reason to believe you've been using meth again.
I'm telling you right now, I didn't do goddamn shit. You know what? Fuck this shit. I'm
Sir,
fucking
you're
leaving out of
contempt.
here.
He's
Fuck your
contempt.
shit.
Somebody go pick him up. Send the
Fuck
police.
the court. Fuck you, judge.
Most of the defendants that call
F you,
into the
Twitch
virtual
chat. F you,
court just think
YouTube.
it's a big joke, like
I'm just kidding. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah.
they logging into a video game or something.
This camera's out of this world. Quality's great.
These folks answer these Zoom calls like they answering a call from their old mom and daddy.
Maybe he's playing Balatro. I mean, I wouldn't stop it either. Maybe he's got a really good steals and seals going on.
To me, it's just all ridiculous.
Now we move to the crazy Colombian judge case.
Whoa,
when you
what?
think of a judge, the first thing that comes to mind is likely a stuffy, wrinkly-looking old guy who's a stickler for rules and decorum.
No,
While
I
that
want a
might
cool
be
guy.
the case here in the United States,
It's cool
apparently they
guy.
do things a bit differently down in Colombia.
Yeah.
Meet Vivian Palania of Cúcuta, Colombia.
What?
If you do a Google search of this woman, you might assume she's some sort of racy Instagram fitness model. Well, she is that. And
Yeah, actually, that's the truth. Oh, and she looks like a muscle mommy.
he's also a court judge. And when she isn't receiving lap dances from
What?
male performers in after-hours courtroom parties, she's crashing out in virtual hearings, cigarette in hand. Judge Vivian Palania was first put on the radar of the greater internet after a video from Colombia leaked, showing her presiding over a virtual court case, either drugged out, drunk, or hung over from her bed. At least it seemed that way. But I think going
She
into
does
this
not
video
care.
raw without foreplay is unfair to Vivian's
Yeah,
legacy.
don't raw dog her.
So, this is Vivian, and
Hi,
these are some
Vivian.
of her social media posts. Yes, she is a real judge. She went to law school, was a practicing attorney, and got her
Wow.
first judicial role in 2018. She would have been around 30 at the time. I don't exactly know what the standards are for judges down in Colombia, and I'm currently unsure if I'm for or against someone like this becoming a judge. I think it just depends on what my gooning meter is at the time. But Vivian has a pretty notorious history, and it all stems from her extracurricular activity.
Yeah,
Stuff
let
like
us
the
see.
pictures we just analyzed. On social media,
I miss when goon meant I got cool gun and had to shoot people. That's a metaphor. I did not do that in real life.
Vivian garnered
I'm surprised. Okay, how does she not, like, because she's a judge, how does she not sell, like, gooner judge content? Like, wearing, like, just the powdered wig and nothing else.
Hundreds of thousands of followers and was branded the
She
hot
has
judge.
to.
She took deals with clothing companies and would promote lingerie and stuff of that nature to Instagram for extra cash, which would probably get you in trouble in the United States if you were a judge.
her
And
clam
it
is staring
appears
at
it
me.
even did get some officials hot down at the equator. Colombian
God, it's
officials
gonna bite.
reportedly warned Judge Palania multiple times for these thirst trap and lingerie promotion posts.
Yeah, ma'am. This sentence won't be the only long thing. This trial was so hard.
But she seemed to care little. Vivian would eventually receive an official judicial warning in 2020 due to the indecency involved with some of her social media activity, particularly the scantily clad photo shoots with her ass and tattoos on full display.
Wow.
Vivian would respond to these warnings with contempt, stating that she was simply expressing herself as a, quote, braless and open-minded person.
Then where is my sandwich braless wife? I still think that's my favorite ninja moment of all time.
She continues, not all judges, lawyers, and other state employees are the same. What I wear and show on my social media is my decision, and I'm not going to change a thing. Personally, I feel this.
I don't know. I don't care. Maybe this will come off as like me being a misogynist and you guys can clip it and say that I suck, but I think some jobs should have a little bit of professionalism. Like, if you are a judge, you should not be doing stuff like that.
This is the worst attitude you could have as a judge. Like, if I was a plaintiff or a defendant, I would want the judge that is like all the other judges, is a square and follows everything by the book, line for line, code for code. Not a judge that thinks there's some special snowflake and may or may not be posting hole on Maine. Maybe that's just me. With her attitude explained, it might come at no surprise to you that Vivian kinda sucked at her job.
Whoa,
At least her job.
whoa. I didn't know she was sucking too.
Job as a judge. And with all of that titillating foreplay behind us, I'm going straight to doggy on this woman. Cut to the video. Not that video, I was just kind of making a euphemism. It's the video mentioned earlier, the one with Vivian crashing out while on a virtual Zoom court call. Allow me to explain. In November of 2020, a video from a virtual hearing presided over by Judge Vivian Palania leaked onto the internet. The hearing was to debate whether the defendant should be let out on bail for an alleged car bombing.
What? See, this is what I'm talking about, man. She's like smoking, playing like Bejeweled on her phone, and there's like a guy who's doing car bombs.
The only thing looking blown out in this recording was the judge.
Oh, have a good night, Petey. Thanks for being here.
Out in this
One sec, sorry, it's gonna be really loud.
the judge.
Where are her pants at? She got her hoo-ha out. I can smell it through the camera.
Wearing nothing but a top and underwear, puffing on a cig, Vivian looked completely out of it. I mean, she's laid up in this call like she's putting on a show for some gooners in a Discord video chat. Many speculated the woman was drunk or on drugs or could have just perhaps been hungover. Whatever the case, the footage would be sent to a judicial ethics committee by concerned citizens. Upon initial review of the footage, officials likely thought they were being sent a clip from myfreecams.com, but were mortified to discover.
Guys, they already got rid of Plexstorm, okay? Plexstorm was basically Twitch, but you were allowed to be naked. How is this allowed?
Or that it was actually Judge Vivian. Colombia's National Commission of Judicial Ethics weren't amused by her hot mess of a court appearance, and as a result of the sordid affair, she was put on a judicial suspension in November of 2022, which was to last until February of the next year. The commission responsible for issuing the suspension commented this regarding the half-naked, cigarette-puffing judge. It is a duty of this commission to avoid repeating the judge's contempt for the investiture of her position and the contempt she showed with her peers in the public prosecutor's office, the prosecution, and the defense. We find no justification for the judge to have presented herself in such deplorable conditions when she had the facilities of her own home and all the amenities necessary to prepare for a public hearing appropriately.
Yeah,
and
this
with
is a
the
kick
respect
stream.
such a hearing deserved. Vivian, on the other hand, said she in fact did have some justification for showing up to court looking like she was.
What is the I wanted them to feel comfortable with me. I was eepy. I had a long day. I was playing WoW all night. Okay, I'd be like, okay, you're based.
Overdosing on Fent. The woman would attempt to defend herself, going on a press tour following her suspension, claiming that the reason for her slumped appearance and overall ratchetry showcased in the video was due to her having an anxiety attack during the proceedings. Quote, "You never know when you're gonna have an anxiety attack," unquote.
Okay,
she also added that she had low blood pressure during the hearing. Guys, that's why she was smoking the cigarette. It was treatment for the blood pressure. She was like trying to raise it, bro. The hypotensive House judge claimed in another interview that the reason for her anxiety attack stemmed from the criticism she received from the Judiciary Ethics Committee over the years. That criticism stemming from her own social media activity. Quote, "If I did not change my way of being, they were going to open a disciplinary investigation." Unquote.
Okay.
She claims this fear of scrutiny caused her anxiety to worsen over time.
What? So I had anxiety because people were looking at my Instagram, so I showed up with no pants? What?
She says it got so bad that she couldn't even get out of bed. And all of that is her explanation for what you're seeing in this video clip. Brutal hangover, anxiety attack, something else, who knows? That is her story as to why this happened. Vivian would have...
She needed a little bit more time to cook up an excuse. That one was not very good. She needed some Twitter people to help her out with that.
Abide by her suspension, and there would be no more virtual courtroom crash outs from her, thankfully. In an interview with the Colombian news media, she claimed that she got proper medication for her condition and was doing better on the anxiety front. There is one last interesting detail in the story of this crazy-ass Colombian judge, though. In September of 2023, Vivian...
Isaac! I can't watch this! Please get your hot dog out of her mouth! I can't watch this! This is something that Sonic the Hedgehog watches.
Vivian would get in trouble again after throwing a stripper party at a Colombian courthouse. And she got a lap dance at this event. This debaucherous spectacle was put together by Vivian herself and took place after work hours. The National Judicial Disciplinary Commission saw the lap dance and immediately got jealous, ordering an investigation into all officials involved in Palania's viral stripper video. Yeah, it kind of looks like Vivian is still learning her lessons and continues to cause embarrassment for herself and the rest of Colombia. Can somebody from Colombia please explain to me if this woman is like an outlier or are all of your judges like this? Let me know down in the comments because this is a crazy look and I just might move there.
We had one guy call into a Zoom hearing from the state hospital. Well, I've got some good news for you.
Hi.
I got a letter here from psychiatry that says you're ready to be released from the state hospital. They say you're normal again.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'll be happy to give you your 5 years time served, and you'd be on your way. All you gotta do is agree to the court that you'll get a job when you get out. Come to find out that boy didn't want to leave the state hospital.
The crash out of Kobe Harris.
Oh, come on,
Our
Kobe,
next case
what
on
happened?
today's docket lacks little in dramatics. It's a bizarre series of hearings showcasing an unhinged man who was caught secretly attending a virtual court hearing from the house of the person that he victimized.
Your Honor, me and Mary both don't want the no contact. I asked if that be dropped.
Smoking a cigarette on call? Guys, come on. If you get called to court, make yourself look like you were in the right. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you should show up dressed nice, good, okay camera angle. Like, come on, man.
I'm sorry I lied to you.
On February 9th, 2021, Kobe Harris of Sturgis, Michigan, had gotten into a heated argument with his girlfriend, Mary Lindsay. It's said this argument ended with Kobe assaulting his girlfriend with a crowbar.
What?
Quite the serious infraction.
Yeah.
As a result, the police were called and Kobe...
Yeah, how are all of these in Michigan? Guys, I thought 100% these were going to be Florida people, okay? I hear all the time when I say, I live in Florida, you guys go, ew, Florida, Florida women, ew, Florida man, blah, 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 blah. What is going on in Michigan? Are you guys okay?
Kobe was promptly arrested. charged with assault and intent to commit bodily harm less than murder. Kobe Harris, no relation to Corey Harris from earlier, was later...
Okay, so this is basically the qualifications to have a good life. 1, don't spawn in Michigan. 2, if you have the name Harris, you are in for a wild ride.
Released on bond, and one of his bond conditions was that he was to have no contact with his girlfriend. You know, the woman he supposedly assaulted with a fucking crowbar.
Yeah.
It appears Kobe had other plans in mind, though. On March 2nd, 2021, a virtual court hearing was conducted over Zoom, a hearing presided over by the same judge that brought us Buttfucker 3000.
Okay, you can see why he's so done, though, right? Like, he was pissed at Buttfucker. That I mean, I guess I could say it was a shitty situation for everybody. But he is having to deal with all this tomfoolery all the time.
Judge Jeffrey Middleton. And let's just say Middleton's virtual courtroom was about to produce another classic.
Going to address the matter of People versus Kobe James Harris. Is that you, sir?
At least he joined with the right name.
Both Kobe and Mary were in attendance in the virtual courtroom.
First time chatter, and as someone who has been in Michigan my whole life, this is crazy. Well, before I wouldn't have said this, but now I'll say I am so sorry. I am so sorry you live in Michigan.
Presumably calling in from separate residences. But something was amiss. At some point before the actual hearing, the prosecutor, Deborah Davis, seen on screen here, was given a tip, which suggested that Kobe was in violation of his no contact order, alleging he was actually staying in the same house as his girlfriend, implying that he was literally at her house during this hearing, but was just streaming himself from a different room or something.
Wait a second. Officer Edgington. Oh no. What is up with the unfortunate naming conventions of people in Michigan, man?
At her house during this hearing, but was just streaming himself from a different room or something. Absolutely insane if true. Deborah kept the tip to herself for a bit and waited to see how things would shake out, though. But given some of the body language on display, it soon became clear the tip was accurate, and Middleton seemed to agree with her suspicion.
That's scary.
Your Honor, I have reason to believe that the defendant is in the same apartment as the complaining witness right now, and I'm extremely scared for her safety. And the fact that she's looking off to the side and he's moving around.
That is scary. Oh my God.
I want some confirmation that she is safe.
Miss Lindsay, where are you right now?
I'm at a house.
No, this is so bad. Because now that she has to admit that they're in the same house together, I'm really scared for her whenever the camera gets turned off. Oh my God.
It's my house.
Oh.
What's the address?
Oh no.
Mr. Harris, where are you?
I think she's looking at him right now.
Your Honor.
In his mind, Kobe probably thought he was a genius at this moment. Using his lightning-fast wit and bulletproof alibi, he had successfully quelled the court's suspicion by saying a different address than the one his girlfriend
he said Starbucks.
A tactic so brilliant, I'd even go as far as to say this guy is a criminal mastermind. At least that's what I would say if court officials and attorneys were as mind-bogglingly stupid as you are, Kobe. What Kobe didn't plan for is the almost instantaneous check he would be placed into by the rather bishoply-looking judge.
Let's go!
I want you to walk out to the front of the house. Show me the house number on the house.
Oh, shit! Oh, at this point, how do you lie? I get in front of a green screen. I don't know what he can even do. Oh, he said prove it. Oh my God.
I don't even think this phone has the charge for that. So
okay, he was kind of quick with that. Yeah, my phone has a really bad battery. Sorry about that.
I'm at like 2% right now. I'm hooked up to his wall charger right now.
He on that low-fat battery.
The classic, my phone is at 2% defense. A bold gambit indeed. But the move is a blunder, as our metaphorical queen, attorney Deborah Davis, quickly moves in for the capture, revealing that cops were literally at Mary Lindsay's door.
Oh no! I can't get up. I broke both my legs 2 seconds ago.
Lets them in, they come in to investigate, and checkmate, Kobe was caught.
The police are at Miss Lindsay's apartment right now, knocking on the door.
Me and Mary both don't want the no contact.
Oh, is that why she was stalling? I paused at a perfect time with just the... But she was stalling until the cops got there? That was pretty smart.
Contact. I asked that that be dropped. I'm sorry I lied to you. I knew the cops were outside.
Look at the judge's face.
Mr. Harris, my advice is don't say anything else. Take the cigarette out of your mouth.
Yeah.
The hearing is adjourned. Your bond is canceled.
After being
Oh, no, he
exposed
got
live
canceled.
in virtual court violating his no contact order,
Wow.
Kobe was immediately arrested and his prior bond was canceled. But
Goodbye.
this isn't the end of Kobe's abusive saga. Even from behind bars, Kobe continued to harass his girlfriend.
Oh my God.
Apparently, he had attempted to call Mary numerous times in between the dates of March 9th
He's
and March 12th
cuckoo.
of 2021. His truly unhinged nature would be put
Yeah.
on display publicly one.
That's really scary. Like, how do you basically get rid of somebody like that? Like, who's just constantly, like, calling, constantly crazy? Like, what do you do? That is really scary. Because, you know, like, even if he gets out of jail, he's still going to be, like, weird about this. That's really tough.
Once again in a later jailhouse hearing that he was compelled to attend.
I feel
with
bad
Corey
for her.
disparaging his attorney who was literally in the call with them.
Mr. Harris, if you could get the jail staff to unmute the microphone.
Oh, that's him? Wait, why do these prison fits kind of look like Steve from Blue's Clues? I thought they were like orange. What is this? Who's he yapping at? What is he doing? Oh my God.
Staff, could you help unmute the microphone?
He's doing like Naruto shit with his hands.
Would you like an opportunity?
Yeah, I'd like to fire my attorney and represent myself for the rest of this case, please.
Oh! Oh, hell no. Come on, that was the best you could do. I'm firing my attorney. You know attorneys like this, too. Goodbye. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Have a good day, everybody. That attorney went, thank God. Oh.
Because he hasn't done anything that I've asked him. I sent him a whole paper of questions to ask her and asked him to come see me before this court date. He hasn't. Paul Gibson's a dude.
Paul Gibson has no idea what's happening. I would not be surprised if Paul Gibson's webcam is a PNG.
And he should not practice this profession because he's not doing anything for.
All right, well, that went well.
On August 6, 2021, Kobe was sentenced to serve prison time, a minimum
Yeah.
sentence of 1 year and 2 months with a maximum sentence of
Oh my
5 years.
God. See, but even then, well, one, do you guys remember that guy who was touching people's feet? He was in jail for 20 years. This guy gets out, he's still a threat. Like, he does not forget. Even just the way that he was talking was scary. If I was her, I would still be really scared. And look, yes, he assaulted her when she was pregnant. Oh my God.
Pending on contingent
He's scary.
factors. At some point, he was briefly released from prison, though he'd
Wow.
be rearrested again in January of 2024 for possession of methamphetamine. An interesting footnote from this arrest is a document
got a lot of
submitted
meth
that
in
contains
Michigan.
personal
It should just be
information
meth again.
about the man. This document indicated Kobe Harris had the phrase "your name" tattooed on his buttocks. Yeah.
Okay, you know what I could do? Left cheek, top text. Right cheek, bottom text. Yep, that's gonna be my new tattoo, everybody.
Not only was Kobe a complete jackass, he was a fan of the movies as well.
I mean, I reckon I see some use case for it, considering that the COVID-19 might kill folk, but God bless, by now the disease is pretty much cleared up. And we're still having to use this crap. What sense does that make? It's just like work. People got lazy. They don't want to go into the office no more. They don't want to come into the courtroom. To me, it's just all ridiculous.
The doctor jump scare incident.
Oh my God, I'm scared. Dr. Mario?
Cases in today's exploration of Zoom court blunders and mishaps, but none are as immediately shocking as this one.
Oh, it gets worse?
So, can everybody hear me?
Where's Sacramento? I think California.
Yes, sir.
This man, fully equipped in scrubs and PPE, is Dr. Scott Douglas Green.
What?
And on February 25th, 2021, this medical practitioner thought it would be wise to join his Sacramento Superior Court hearing for a traffic ticket whilst in the middle of performing surgery.
So, unless I'm mistaken, I'm seeing a defendant that's in the middle of an operating room, appearing to be actively engaged in providing
This is my luck. This would be my doctor.
Is that correct, Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
Or what should I say, Dr. Green, but I don't know that.
Okay, that's okay.
I'd
How can you be smart enough to be a doctor, but then do something as stupid as this?
do not feel comfortable for the welfare of a patient if you're in the process of operating that I would put on a trial, notwithstanding the fact that the officer's here today.
So I have another surgeon right here who's doing the surgery with me, so I can stand here and allow them to do the surgery also.
Oh my God,
Dr.
he said
Green
I'm
would
spectating right
apologize
now,
to the judge,
1v1.
and his hearing would be rescheduled for March 4th, 2021. But what you must keep in mind, like most of the other clips featured in today's clusterfuck of a video, this whole incident was recorded and broadcasted live. And before you knew it, people online were coming out of the woodwork claiming that Dr. Scott Green was negligent and engaging in medical malpractice and should be looked into. And I don't blame them. I mean, let's be honest, the optics here weren't great. The Medical Board of California made plans to investigate Dr. Green on whether there was a violation of a standard of care. And there was online speculation that the patient being operated on could be suing for negligence or something like that. But were people getting ahead of themselves here? What did the doc himself have to say about all of this?
Yeah, let me know. He
Dr.
goes,
Green would eventually talk to the media about what had happened a week later, giving extra context explaining his side of the story. Green laid it all out, saying he was performing a facelift and traffic court called him up on Zoom.
Oh my God, a facelift? Holy crap, you know they woke up looking like Two-Face.
This was our last case. We were about halfway through, all the critical parts.
When he got the call from court, his assistant surgeon took over for him and would finish the procedure. So Green says he technically wasn't performing surgery when he answered the Zoom call. Dr. Green also—
As a medic and a nurse, I can say doctors are not good at social things at all. Really? I don't know. I would have never guessed that. Thank you for telling me.
defended himself by saying that it wasn't all too uncommon for surgeons to take calls in the operating room.
What?
To me, taking a call in the OR is something that occurs all the time.
Really?
Not a Zoom.
Oh my God. Guys, if I can put my phone down for 6-hour streams, which are like not even that crazy, a doctor can put his phone away. Oh my God, and how much am I paying you to be playing Subway Surfers?
Call to traffic court. I've never been to traffic court.
Because of how unhinged this clip looked, the doctor had to retain an attorney.
Not even, like, I probably sound crazy for this. You know how when you go to, like, Universal or something, you have to put your phone in a locker when you go, like, on a roller coaster? They should have a locker for the phones of people working on a surgery. Yes, and you know when the surgery is scheduled. There is literally no excuse to get a phone call.
Attorney to navigate through the mess.
We've already sent a preemptive statement explaining there was no patient safety issue, there was no confidentiality problem. I fully expect and anticipate the board will not have a problem with this.
While the mass surgeon popping into the Zoom call may look insane to us, according to other medical professionals interviewed, taking calls and breaks in the middle of surgery is actually somewhat common.
But when you've got two fully qualified, fully trained plastic surgeons in the room, one could actually leave and go have a sandwich if he wanted to.
He wasn't doing that while operating.
He was away from the table. At that point, he was just watching the fellow finishing the case.
Though Dr. Green did admit after receiving much criticism that the best thing to do in that situation would have been to step out of the operating room before answering.
I guess.
Hindsight, honestly, that would have been the simplest thing to do.
Dr. Green never got any reprimand or trouble for this incident. And
What?
his clip's legacy remains nothing more than a shocking footnote
Wow,
from the
nothing
COVID
at all?
era of Zoom court. Dr. Green is still a practicing surgeon in Sacramento, California. And if you need some work done, tell him Wavy sent you and you want the Bogdanov special.
One of the crazy cases we dealt with recently on the Zoom was a fella who was caught up in a civil rights case.
Uh-oh.
Your Honor, for the last time,
He spit on me!
danger.
He spit on me! Ew.
Okay? This is a hate crime.
Now that case went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and by the time it was said and done with, that boy came out the other end a protected fella. They were calling him the Martin Luther King of ginger people.
The case of serial liar Saris Green. Court really has a way of showcasing the arrested development experienced by some of society's more stubborn and block-headed members. I mean, generally speaking, you kind of have to be on a constant path of fucking up to end up in a courtroom in the first place.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Virtual court has allowed us a special glimpse into the hearings wherein these perpetual responsibility avoiders and degenerates are finally made to squirm in front of a judge because of their decision-making. And some of these confrontations are equal parts dramatic as they are cerebral dissections of someone's ego. I'd like to now bring you to the case of Saris Green, a
What did
woman
you
with
do?
a forehead tattoo who is seemingly allergic to following court orders and telling the truth. Her dishonesty directly resulting in her being arrested while attending court via Zoom.
Tell her the entire truth and let her know that we're here right
What does her tattoo say?
I was just,
She ulted too soon. You had to save the crying. You ulted way too soon.
thought maybe I would like get in trouble.
The saga begins all the way back on August 23rd, 2022 in Greenwood County, Kansas, when 24-year-old Saris Green and her boyfriend at the time, Aaron Berg, were both arrested. Why?
Uh-oh,
Well,
yeah, why?
because Saris's
Drugs
dumbass
again?
boyfriend was speeding. A police patroller caught him speeding, and when they tried to pull him over, the two got into a high-speed chase. This would-be Bonnie and Clyde duo would eventually get caught, and when Saris was detained and searched, police found a trinket on her. That trinket, of course, being a glass vial filled with meth.
Guys! It's always meth! It always comes back to meth!
Oh, and they also reportedly found various paraphernalia like hollowed out pens, syringes, rolling
my
papers, and a
God.
glass pipe. She was facing up to 4 years in prison along with massive fines. On August 22nd, 2022, Saris's mother would bail her out of jail under the bond agreement that Saris would go back home to Alaska, where she was from, and stay there and
Get out of here! We don't want you! Go back to Alaska! Please, 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 we'll just let you go if you just leave us alone!
until all of this was resolved. So yeah, just hang out with your mom in Alaska, get your life back on track, and knock out these hearings virtually. Piece of cake, right? Well, when it came time for Saris to attend her first virtual court hearing on September 13th, she was nowhere to be found.
Of course
the
not.
judge, irritated over the matter, would give the woman a second chance,
Wow,
scheduling
that's
another
huge.
hearing for the following week. And Saris would actually attend this one, but let's just say it doesn't go well for her. It's excuse after excuse, lie after lie, and some alligator tears to boot. And let's be honest, nobody wants to attend a pity party thrown by a drug addict with a forehead tattoo.
Why? Maybe there's a good goodie bag at the end.
The hearing starts off routinely, but it's clear something is wrong. The judge and the sheriff in the call seem to have some suspicion that
Where's all the snow? It's Alaska, right? She already took all the snow and put it in baggies and is distributing it. It's okay.
Saris is being untruthful about where she's actually at.
Okay, does Miss Green still have an outstanding warrant?
Uh-oh.
Where are you, Miss Green?
Is she zooted, chat?
Yes, she does, Your Honor.
Okay, where are you, Miss Green?
In Alaska.
Do you know you failed to come to court?
Yes, I do.
Why did you fail to come to court?
I was bored.
Well, honestly, I got mixed up on my days, and when I looked at when I was looking, I looked down on my phone and I saw that it was the 13th, and I was like, oh my gosh.
You know what's crazy? I actually believe her. I think she did just not show up because she forgot.
It's the 13th, and it was hours has passed because I forgot about the time difference too.
Next,
I
we get
actually
into what
believe
has
her.
likely been a routine practice by Saris throughout the majority of her life. One where she feigns emotion and remorse for making her mother's life a living hell.
Oh,
Okay, so on August 22nd, you posted a $7,500 bond with us. Who's Cynthia?
That's my mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Okay, you just cost her $7,500 by not coming to court. She's gonna have to lose that.
There's no way that
she's halting again. Come on. Hold it in.
And that was a cash bond, it looks like. With the paying party authorizing the money to be paid to the costs of the case. Do you get the impression that maybe it was a big deal to forget court, Miss Green?
She needs a puppy and a ukulele.
Okay.
Nobody in the hearing is fazed by this woman's tearful.
Nobody cares. This person looks like they're on their phone. That guy's taking a nap in the top left. Lady bottom left is definitely playing Neopets. And top right has no idea what's going on. That's probably just a still image.
Little tantrum. Rather, the law enforcement officer in this call, Greenwood County, Kansas Sheriff Cox, seemingly smelled blood in the water and initiated an attack, accusing the 24-year-old amphetamine enthusiast of lying about her current whereabouts, saying that she should prove herself by going to local police.
Yeah, you should prove you're in Alaska. Go outside right now and ride one of them moose. What else do people in Alaska do? I don't know. I think they're very outdoorsy, which would be bad for me. I don't know. I just don't like going outside. I'd rather stay inside and be on my computer. And even vacations, going to the Grand Canyon, I feel like I would look for a second and be like, okay, that's pretty cool. Can I go home?
Under Sheriff Cox, does your office take a position on what to do about that warrant?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay.
I am fine with you and Miss Gillette lifting that warrant, but I would like to see
Alaska. Take me on an IRL vlog.
$50,000 OR bond where she turns herself into local law enforcement. And that way we know exactly where she is.
Got him.
Because I have information that she's actually
that her smoke detector?
exactly where she is. Because
smoke detectors always make me laugh, man.
I have information that she's actually in Pueblo, Colorado, not Alaska.
Ooh, IP check her. Can you check somebody's IP from their phone? I don't know, actually. There has to be a way for people to know where other people are. Because I'm going to be honest, there is no way she would know how to have a VPN. You could probably just find out where she is.
Pueblo?
Yes.
No.
A very convincing defense from Saris Green here. But not satisfied, the judge, who I've just now realized sounds a lot like Airsoft Fatty, asked this guy...
Why would you know that?
in the background to talk to the court and reveal where they're at. And well, let's just say the man here wasn't willing to walk the green mile for this girl.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
He stands up like the man emoji. Like this. He looked like Steve from live action Minecraft right now.
Good afternoon. Can you put your face in this camera, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was on the video. I apologize for my appearance.
Okay. All right. Your name is Dale Whitman. Is that right?
That is incorrect. It's A.M.
A.M. And how are you connected or related to this young lady?
I'm a friend, and I specifically met her friend.
Your Honor, I am Steve. Oh, okay. Hi, Steve. I loved your movie. It was really great.
Aaron, who was involved in the same case.
Okay. And where do you live?
I live in Green Mountain Falls, Colorado.
Damn it! You couldn't even like Among Us lie.
And you're at home right now?
I am.
Lying Saris just can't help herself, can she? Caught committing perjury in 4K, the woman defaults to what she knows best. Pouting, crying, and making excuses in an effort to make the problem go away. Needless to say, it doesn't work.
Miss Green?
He literally came in, dropped the information, said, not my problem. Bye, everybody.
Yes. You just lied to me.
Uh-oh.
You realize you put me in a position where I
You did eat that cookie out of the cookie jar, didn't you?
can't trust anything you tell me now. So tell me why you lied. What was the point of that?
He literally threw her under the bus and left.
Because I forgot to tell the person I call into weekly that I decided to go back to Colorado.
What?
For my court date.
She needs a translator!
But I was thinking about, or my mom was going to get me a plane ticket back to Alaska.
Your mom doesn't happen to be there, does she?
Huh?
Does your mom happen to be in the house with you there?
Top left knows he cooked.
But I can give you her information and stuff.
I was in
Well, I've got some
electrical.
information
I
on
was
that
in
bond that you're costing
electrical.
her. Well, I was ready to set aside your warrant.
Please, is there any way that you can just
He left.
I'm so
Well, I would have you if you hadn't lied to me.
I'm sorry. I'm just really been stressed out. My uncle, who was like my best friend, just passed away while I was in jail. That's why we're going out to Georgia. It's because he passed away.
Where were you going?
To Savannah, Georgia.
Weren't you going the wrong direction from Kansas?
She did not care for the excuse and got her ass anyway.
I don't believe so.
So her "I skipped court to visit my dying uncle in Georgia" excuse fell flat on its face. Nobody in the hearing was moved in the slightest.
Yeah, I didn't
So
care.
with the truth of the matter out there, Saris is briefly dismissed and court goes into recess while they decide her fate. They resume the hearing in short time. And while live, it would become clear to all who are watching this live stream what her fate was.
Not good.
Yeah, you're going to be publicly executed in my Minecraft server. No!
I don't think you've ever told me yet why you actually lied and said you were in Alaska right now.
Liar, liar.
You want to try again?
What was that face? She's trying the puppy dog eyes so bad.
Tell her the entire truth and let her know that we're here right now.
Why? She's getting coached too. That is insane. The guy with the blue shirt's right there.
I just thought maybe I would like get in trouble because I hadn't told you guys that I went back to Colorado.
Okay.
And
whose voice was that I just heard?
Yeah.
That is Marshall.
Hi, Marshall.
Who's Marshall?
Marshall Goings.
Marshall go. I thought it was gonna be the guy in the blue shirt, but it's a cop.
Law enforcement is on.
All right. Are you there for her on her warrant, Marshall? All right. Again, why didn't you?
Marshall's going to arrest your ass. You are done. You were cooked.
Tell me you had a marshal there to take you into custody.
I was getting to that. I was.
Right. Okay. Well, you're going
It's
with
over.
him now. Then we're
Oh
gonna
my
quit
God, it's
playing
over.
games and
I wasn't trying to play games with you, miss. And I really apologize for lying to you in your court. It wasn't right. I
wonder what her tattoo says. I can't read it.
You've taken enough. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off there. You've taken enough time of the officer. How long's he been there?
Just like 5 minutes.
All right. Well, you go with him. You go with him.
My God.
Right, thank you.
What's my bail at?
Well, he can tell you when he gets you down there and looks at your warrant.
He'll let you
call
know.
your mom and tell her you cost her $7,500 on her bond. And we'll be in recess at this time. Thank you, officer.
Thank you. I'm so sorry, but. All right.
She's done. Goodbye. She's done.
So she goes with Marshall to jail. She's such a fucking idiot, dude. This entire Zoom call being a perfect example of what happens to your life when you get a face tattoo and constantly lie about everything. In all seriousness, though, some of you guys watching might think I'm being a bit too hard on this girl, but dude, it's just a continued spiral of refusing to take responsibility and excuses. When Saris got out of jail, she was scheduled a new hearing, and what do you know, she fails to attend that one and gets in trouble for the exact fucking same thing as last time. She didn't even learn! Coming up with excuses even more ridiculous than I missed 'cause my dying uncle.
Oh, after I got out of jail, my laptop and my antibiotics and my phone got stolen and my purse. And so then I got really sick. I had to
I broke both my legs. My body is made of paper skin and glass bones. There's nothing I could have done.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I had to go to the hospital and get like antibiotics. It just keeps getting worse.
Godzilla came to my house, blew it down. Then after that, the big bad wolf. It was so bad, man.
Like yeah.
So, like last time, Saris would have to go to jail, but she actually turned herself in this time instead of being dragged there by Marshall. I guess that's a step in the right direction for her character development.
Hi, Marshall.
Folks. Though, unfortunately for the court-skipping Saris, this time she was hit with a $100,000 bail. Guaranteed.
Whoa, that is actually unobtainable. Oh my God, nobody is getting her out. Holy shit.
That she wouldn't be able to miss any more court hearings and would sit in jail until all of this was litigated.
Yeah, they had to get her in there.
I'm gonna set your bond at $100,000. Now you and your attorney can talk, and if you do make that bond, it will require
$100,000's a lot. That's like 2 Switch 2s.
Then you're not, as a condition of your bond, allowed to leave the state of Kansas.
Don't worry,
Finally,
he wasn't going to Alaska.
Green would be made to face her original charges related to meth possession that got her into this mess in the first place.
Yeah.
On April 21st.
Wait, I'm trying to remember because this section of the video is pretty long. Wasn't there like a guy who was involved in this? Was this the people who were driving the car and she had the meth and they were trying to evade the police? What happened to him? I don't know.
2023, with a different judge, Judge Satterfield, presiding over the case, Saris would plead no contest to the felony count of possession of methamphetamine. In June of 2023, she would be sentenced for her crime to serve 15 months, with most of this time being served as probation. In typical Saris fashion, she
actually did look better after being in jail for a little bit. I saw that too.
Degenerate plan lined up for where she was going to go when she got out of jail. Something the court had to know before releasing her. She said she'd be going with her boyfriend to Washington State, but because she wasn't a resident of that state, the judge wouldn't allow it, which brought upon a pout session from the girl that never learns.
But that's sort of the risk you run when you're involved in activities and drug use that results in a felony charge, someplace that you're not even from or familiar with.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry.
I just thought it was part of my deal. Like it was part.
I don't think she has spoken normally the entire time. She has cried every second.
Of my deal, like from the very beginning.
And I don't think hanging out in a motel room at a Motel 6 in Eureka is, you know, the answer for you just to be released without any.
Could I do it in Wichita?
About a year after her release on July 26, 2024, Saris would be arrested in Greenwood County, Kansas as a result of a probation violation. Later in August, she would be arrested again for possession of Suboxone, fentanyl, and drug paraphernalia with a bond set at $12,500. She would post bond in September of 2024 and was later arraigned for these alleged crimes in March of 2025. So she's still going through the court system nearly 3 years after her initial debut on Zoom for the drug possession. Saris is the poster child for irresponsibility, a perpetual victim of circumstance. Her problems always the fault of others and never created by her own actions.
Look, every clip was her ulting. She is playing Nidalee. She's ulting so much the cooldown is so low.
Or behavior. At least that's her own self-image. Look, I've been pretty harsh to Saris in this chapter, but if I'm being real, I don't think it's too late for this girl, and hopefully her tumultuous trip through the court system serves as some kind of reality check.
I don't know. Do you think some people just can't learn? Like, this is insane. She had like 9 million chances and keeps doing the same thing. Yeah, this needs to be patched.
We'll have to wait and see. Whatever the case, that was the story of Saris Green, the girl seemingly allergic of attending scheduled virtual court hearings and following basic instructions.
Now, one thing that I do like about this virtual hearing stuff is, well, whenever we have a fella that's already in jail, he no longer has to come into my courtroom to plead his case. Well,
I know this is like commenting on it way too late, but now that I'm thinking about it, if you go on Ellen, she's like, oh my God, I love your 420 on your head. To celebrate, everybody look under your chair. Everybody gets free drugs. Yippee! Thank you, Ellen. We love you, Ellen. Yay!
I mean, we got this one character that calls in asking about something almost every week. One of them sovereign citizens.
Oh,
what is it this time?
Not the sovereign citizens, man.
Mr. Cage.
To the imposter masquerading as a so-called judge, I state here that I do not recognize your authority, nor do I consent to this corporate tribunal. I will not be a slave in your maritime jurisdiction.
Attorney freaks out in virtual court. If you spend time on sites like X, Twitter, Instagram, you've probably seen a meme format like this. This is my lawyer, dog. I'm going to jail.
If I was your lawyer, Chad, how bad would it be? Be honest. How cooked are you? 10 is you were absolutely going to jail. 1 is there's a chance for you not to go to jail. It would be bad? Come on. I got you.
Jail. Well, the subject of our next chapter is like the real-life version of this.
Name one law. Actually, I don't have to name a law, Judge, because I'm on White Claws right now, and we all know there's no laws when you're on the claws. See? I'm quick on my feet. I can do just fine.
Shamika O'Neill is infamous in the world of Zoom court for a crash out she had during a hearing several years ago.
Your Honor, it's my motion at this time to withdraw from this case.
No, ma'am. That motion's denied.
Why?
The story begins on January 12th, 2021, during a virtual court session
Here
for
we
Kentucky's 30th District Court, 4th Division. The defendant, Curtis Burns, who was in custody at the time, attended via Zoom alongside his attorney, the aforementioned Shamika O'Neill. Her voice can be heard during the call,
I don't see your
but
camera.
you can't actually see her.
Oh, okay.
Honorable Judge Julie Kalin presided over the case. The purpose of this hearing was to approve a plea agreement in Curtis's criminal case. The agreement reportedly stated that Curtis would plead guilty to several of his charges, including mischief and assault. And
a charge being mischief is just so funny to me. I know it's actually not, but like, Your Honor, he was too silly. Put him up.
Result, he would only get a 1-year suspended sentence, which involved him having to enroll into a drug treatment program, and then once finished, would spend 30 days in jail afterwards and would be out on probation when that was complete. However, apparently Curtis and his attorney weren't on the same page, as he was under the impression the 30 days of jail time wasn't a part of the deal at all. Confusion and a bit of ruckus begins brewing in the hearing as this subject is broached.
He's going to come back and serve the balance of the 60 days after he completes that inpatient treatment program. Whenever that is done, it could be longer than 6 months, but the understanding is he's going to come back and serve some additional days.
honest, I've never been to court. Is court just boring? Every single person in the Zoom call looks bored out of their damn mind. Every single time they're looking down, they're so bored, they don't want to be here. I haven't seen one person having a good time.
So I think we need to write that up as like a furlough, correct?
Ma'am, can I ask a question? Is my attorney?
I can't.
Your Honor, that's what I would suggest.
Your
that
attorney's
it
on the
be
line.
written up as a furlough. Yes.
She told me that was gonna get put on the shelf. So my
I'll put
understanding.
rather than released. I'll just change it, defendant to be furloughed to the ARC program with a
Well,
position.
he's saying he did not. Sir, can you please pull your mask up? He's saying that he and Miss O'Neill did.
He was smelling. He was smelling the roses. He thinks he's gonna get out of jail.
Please let me.
Your Honor, I want to. I just want to reiterate.
Miss O'Neill, please do not interrupt me.
Uh-oh. Well, to be fair, I don't know if there's lag here. There has been so many times I've been on like a Discord call where I accidentally talk over somebody, and it's just because I hate this. The silence gets so long that you think it's yours time to speak, but then the other person talks, and since there's lag, you talk on top of them, and then it's just like really bad.
He is saying that they did not discuss that. So would you like some time to speak with your client, Miss O'Neill?
No, ma'am. I wouldn't. I would like to correct Kurt in saying that he is going not for substance abuse. It's for mental health treatment. He's bipolar schizophrenic, ma'am.
What?
So he says a lot of things.
Oh
he
my
agreed
God!
He agreed to this deal. He has it in his hand. So the question becomes, Kurt, do you want to take it or not? You're dealing with somebody that's not operating at full capacity.
It feels like she's bullying him.
Ma'am.
Okay,
So,
look,
yes,
it's
I'm
just
sorry.
addiction recovery center. I assumed it was substance abuse treatment. If it's mental health treatment,
No,
that's
no,
fine.
he's got bipolar,
else can-
undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenia.
Undiagnosed, so she's just saying this? What? She's a doctor too?
Yeah, that's the reason for these offenses in the first place.
Yes, looks like Shamika, along with being disrespectful, is also apparently a mental health professional who has deduced her client has undiagnosed bipolar and schizophrenia. And that's why they aren't on the
He has undiagnosed schizophrenia and bipolar. How do you know that, ma'am? Oh, the source? Me? It's me. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
same page.
He's got bipolar, undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenia.
Now, kudos to...
Wait, did she say schizophrenia? No way. I think I might have misheard that.
Got bipolar, undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia, damn!
Now, kudos to the judge here because she quickly picks up that Curtis was feeling misrepresented
Yeah,
and
that's
tries
horrible.
her best to reel Shamika in regarding this plea hearing. Ooh boy, does that piss her off because when she gets just a smidge of pushback, the woman rage quits from the entire case.
FF20. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day.
But what I'm saying is your client is saying he did not understand it that way.
My God.
It is fine that he has mental illness, but that doesn't mean that we can go through with a plea if he doesn't understand what he's agreeing to.
Yes.
No, I don't even have no records of me having mental illness. She just put that diagnosis on me. I don't have no mental illness.
Oh my God. He's taking it better than I would. I don't know. I'd be like, what are you saying? Will I play League on stream? Hell no. Never, ever. If you think I'm kind of a biatch right now, you do not want to see me play League of Legends. I get the world's biggest attitude.
I'm from Florida. I'm not even.
Your Honor, it's my motion at this time to withdraw from this case.
No, ma'am. That motion's denied.
Why?
Because
he won't accept the plea, and he's going contrary. He won't accept the. Ma'am, I've been to the jail 5 times.
I gotta go back to that. Did she really say that? I gotta go back. 1 second.
Diagnosis on me. I don't have no mental illness. I'm from Florida. I'm not even.
Your Honor,
I don't have mental illness. I'm from Florida. What does that even mean? You can pick one. You can either be mentally ill or you can live in Florida. What the hell? How do I live here? I've got issues. I got a lot of Wheels.
Your Honor, it's my motion at this time to withdraw from this case.
No, ma'am, that motion's denied.
Why?
Because
he won't accept the plea, and he's going contrary. He won't accept the. Ma'am, I've been to the jail 5 times. He's flooding the toilets.
What?
He's causing disturbances.
What?
He's fighting. He's been beat up. He's calling me.
She said he be poo-poo doo-dooing in, and that's bad. What the? Everybody poops. Everybody poops.
You are now disparaging your client to this court.
He's handling it really good. He's just sitting there like, what?
Okay, well, the bottom line is, my advice to him, ma'am, is to take the deal. If he's not going to do that, then I'm withdrawing from this case.
Ma'am,
I've already been to the jail 5 times, Your Honor, to talk to him.
I like how they're defending him, though. Like, she's totally coming off like a bully. Like, this is literally bullying this guy.
Withdrawal is denied.
I bet I don't appear again. Goodbye.
What?
Okay, I would like to make a contempt motion for Miss O'Neill.
What? Goodbye. Oh
I will
my
enter an
God.
order compelling her appearance in front
Alt
of this court
F4.
tomorrow.
So I just roll everything to tomorrow morning, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Okay, good deal.
Mr. Burns, there is no excuse for an attorney to behave that way.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
We will address this tomorrow.
Poor him.
And, your
What is he
attorney will
supposed
be
to do?
lucky if she's not in there with you.
Now,
So,
I'm willing to work out any way best that the prosecutor feel. I don't understand why she's going off like that, ma'am. You know what I mean? I'm not
I don't
lying.
either, sir. It is
Yeah.
unacceptable,
Oh,
and I
understand.
promise you there will be consequences.
What happens? Does she get in trouble? Like, can you get in trouble as an attorney for doing that? Like, they have to suspend or revoke her license or something. There's no way. You cannot act like that.
And the crash out from O'Neill continues. According to a report from WDRB News,
Her face is like a perfect YouTube thumbnail face.
Shamika would join the judge's
She's like,
virtual courtroom later in the day and brazenly state this: "Mark my words, if you take adverse action against me, you better be sure about it, because you made some mistakes here today. I will attempt to hold you civilly or however responsible that I can. And that's my word." It would be at this point where Judge Kalin removed Shamika O'Neill as Burns' attorney. The contempt hearing imposed Shamika O'Neill to pay a $500 fine and serve 90 days in jail, but she could avoid jail time by refraining from committing additional acts of contempt.
Wow.
During a phone interview, O'Neill stated that she would challenge the punishment and claimed the judge was rude and disrespectful and said that she was fighting for her client's rights. Quote, "As for that fine, straight cash, homie. Bottom line, don't disrespect me and try to humiliate me in front of my client and other professionals. Then think I'm gonna sit here and take it whether you got on a robe or not. I'm a person just like her. I'm not her child, nor do I work for her. Get respect and I give respect, period."
He's got bipolar, undiagnosed bipolar.
Yeah, they're putting her on death row for this one.
Schizophrenia.
This is like the most unself-aware and ironic fucking
Wow.
statement that an attorney in her position could give. Don't humiliate me in front of my client. Girl, that went the other way. With a defender like this, why even have a fucking prosecutor? It's not necessary. This attitude is so childish. It was later confirmed that Shamika would pay the fine. And the video of the footage
Yeah, she paid it straight cash. Did we not hear that?
surrounding all of this would go
She's
viral.
sleeping on her money like
Comment
Mr.
sections around
Krabs.
the internet having a field day with it. Quote, "He has undiagnosed schizophrenia," unquote. But if it's undiagnosed, then how can... Never mind. Sometimes you want a criminal lawyer, but get a criminal lawyer. Worst lawyer or best lawyer? She just took all the heat off of her client and put it on herself.
They'll probably be nicer to him now that they know that he's been dealing with her.
Shamika would be reprimanded by the
She was tanking aggro. Oh my God. This is so smart. We didn't even think about this, chat. She was tanking aggro. What a hero.
Kentucky Supreme Court, but it was for a totally different incident. At some point, she had been hired to represent a woman named Shalonda Moe in a racial discrimination claim against the Kentucky Department of Revenue. She was paid $1,900 for this, which included the filing fee for the case. However, according to the Bar Association, Shamika was accused of failing to serve the right people, filing the case in the wrong forum, and failing to respond to various motions to appear in court. As a result of this, in January 2021, it was reported that the Kentucky Supreme Court had reprimanded Shamika O'Neal, filing a...
The only way you can be like a total asshole is if you're good at your job. And even then, like, you shouldn't be an ass, but like, wow!
5-count charge against her, ordering her to repay the client's $1,900 and essentially ghosting her in the case. And O'Neal would later reportedly admit to violating these rules. After her 2022 court case had gone viral, multiple legal YouTubers reacted to the situation, pointing out what Shamika did wrong, and these guys had a lot to say about her conduct.
So then she says, I bet I don't appear again in this case. Not something you want to say to a judge. You do not want to push a judge's button, call their authority into question, and basically call their bluff and say, I bet you won't do anything about this. I bet I don't appear again on this case.
Yeah, so guess what? Now I'm going to do even more than I would have done if you would have just kept your mouth shut.
That's what the lawyer says before hanging up the Zoom call. And again, it's very important that this is done during the quarantine and during Zoom, because you can't just walk out of a courtroom. The judge can literally say, bailiff, which is an officer in the courtroom, grab that person right now and take
They need like a virtual bailiff. Like how can they have a bailiff on Zoom? Like they just like put them back into the
in the jail.
My thing started lagging.
She asked the judge to recuse her or remove her from the case. She wanted to withdraw her appearance. Now, once we enter into the case, we cannot just withdraw on our own. We have to have leave of the court in order to withdraw from the case. We can make a motion to withdraw, and we can state things like, I haven't been paid for my services in the motion. Usually
in a good way,
it's a pretrial motion filed ahead of court. And in those cases, judges can deny it because they say, well, they don't have another attorney. So do you know of another attorney for them? Do they have a public defender?
Poor guy.
You can't just leave this person in the lurch.
I feel really bad for him.
Right? So sometimes the judges won't release you. Sometimes they will. You can file a motion to withdraw your appearance because your client already has another attorney. You cannot file a motion to withdraw your appearance because you have one recommendation for your client and your client wants to go the other way.
In one video uploaded to YouTube by Natalie Lawyer Chick, a practicing attorney, she would find prior information about Shamika, where she read out that Shamika was in fact a former prosecutor for Jefferson County, Kentucky, and resigned in 2013 after allegedly falsely assuring a judge that no recording of a 911 call existed, when in fact the 911 call did exist.
Oh my God, she's just straight up lying.
This incident resulting in her being terminated. But anyways, pertaining to her actions when defending Curtis Brown on December 17th, the Inquiry Commission filed a 4-count charge alleging that O'Neal's conduct violated 4 rules of professional conduct. O'Neal admitted fault and suggested that this all occurred because she had not been taking her prescribed mood-stabilizing medication in the weeks that led up to
It's like every time something happens, she just says that there's like a mental thing going on. Oh my God.
the incident. She also said that she was participating in anger management therapy to help.
Okay, well, yeah, you should go there a lot. You should be there every day. You should probably live there.
With these outbursts. Finally, it was decided on August 24th of 2023 by the Kentucky Bar Association that 2 of the counts levied at her would be dismissed, and O'Neal should only be publicly reprimanded for her admitted violations. And have to pay a cost of $919.82. This reprimand
Not the 82 cents! I could get half an ice cream cone from McDonald's!
and is on her permanent record.
He's got bipolar, undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenia.
This judge just can't take this virtual stuff no more. And Sharon, get my pump ready.
And with that, we've completed our exploration of some of the most unhinged Zoom court crash outs in history. I'll be leaving the invoice in your P.O. box. But in all seriousness, I want to thank the YouTubers that gave me cameos for this video. You guys are all goated, and I appreciate it. I also want to give a major shout out to the patrons. I appreciate you guys.
Hi, patrons.
wavywebsurf out. Peace.
Hi, Jeremy. Hi, Lazy Oreo Chip. Wow, that was good. That was good. I feel like I'm all caught up on history. We learned a lot. Oh, I'm really broken.